Welcome to Gradelink Administrator Training. We've designed Gradelink to improve parent communication, increase teacher efficiency, and streamline administrative tasks. This video will show you the key steps needed to set up and maintain your Gradelink account. The key steps to setting up are: create staff accounts, create terms, create classes, create or import student accounts, and populate classes. The key actions for maintaining your Gradelink account are: copying classes to future terms, adjusting student account status, and promoting students at the end of the year. We'll also cover key reports and other features in Gradelink. Ready? Let's begin. Gradelink currently offers 3 types of user accounts: administrative, teacher, and parent. Everyone uses a secure login and password to sign in to their Gradelink account. Start at www.gradelink.com and click the green Login button. Then, enter your school ID and initial username and password. The Gradelink service team will provide these to you. When you first sign in, click the Change Password tab to change your password to something unique, memorable only to you. Now let's click on the Staff tab and begin entering additional staff members. Gradelink staff types are divided into Teacher, Admin Limited, and Admin. Teacher accounts get grade sheets for tracking grades, can run class-specific reports, and can take or update attendance. Admin Limited accounts are a limited access administrative account, good for entering new students, updating addresses, and recording attendance from the office. Admin accounts are full administrative accounts, allowing access to all features, including staff, settings, and viewing of the teacher grade sheets. We recommend all schools have multiple admin accounts, including any full-time office managers, secretaries, or IT administrators who would be considered a manager for your Gradelink account. So enter any additional admin or admin limited level accounts. The phone field is optional and will be shown only to other staff members. It's intended for a personal number such as home or cell phone. The email field is also optional. It will be visible to other staff, and teacher email addresses can optionally be made visible to parents. The username has no special requirements other than being unique for each account. The password has certain requirements for security. There must be at least 6 characters, and it must contain 3 of these 4 character types: capital letter, lowercase letter, number, and symbol. Click Add. Now continue adding in any additional administrative staff and any teacher accounts. For the teacher's passwords, you may enter a randomly generated password or one of your choosing. However, teachers should change this password the first time they log in. Now, let's click the Terms tab to set up your terms for the year. All terms for each school year are configured here. The terms contain the individual classes or courses. In this example, we'll use quarters. However, you can configure trimesters or any other term type in a similar fashion. Be sure to specify the year as part of the term title. The report title is displayed on the report card and other reports, and therefore should be abbreviated. Specify the start and end dates for just this quarter. Keep in mind that this setting will determine the days that attendance can be recorded. If this is the quarter you will be starting with, go ahead and make it active. Then, click Add. We now have our first term created. It's a good idea to go ahead and finish configuring terms for the rest of the year. If your school displays semester averages on the report card, you will need to create what we call a parent term. Enter an appropriate title in the term title field. Again, in the report title field, be sure to abbreviate it so everything fits properly on the report card. You don't need to make this term active. Simply click Add. Now, select Quarter 1 from your list. On the drop-down menu for Parent Term, choose Semester 1 of this school year. Then click Submit Changes. Now the quarter term is grouped into its semester or parent term. Do the same for Quarter 2. Then, create a term for Semester 2 and associate Quarters 3 and 4 with it. If your school has final exam grades which display on the report card and make up a fixed percentage of the semester grade, you can configure this in Gradelink using exam terms. In the term title field, enter an appropriate name such as Exam 1 2012-2013 and an abbreviated title in the report title field. Select the parent term from the drop-down. Then click the checkbox for Exam Term. Specify the weight your school determines. Keep in mind that for grade levels like primary grades, where the final exam may not be shown on the report card, this setting will not be applicable. If you've got staff accounts set up and terms configured, you can begin entering individual classes. In Gradelink, the word classes refers to anything that would be considered an individual subject, giving teachers a gradebook for entering assignments or assessments and displaying on the report card as a distinct section. Let's start with a typical first grade class. In the class title field, enter a descriptive, useful title that includes the subject and grade level, such as Reading 1. In the report title field, enter how you would like the class to be displayed on the report card and parent interface. Generally, the grade level should be left off. Click the Teacher field, then select the teacher to the right. If there is a team teacher or teacher's aide you would like to grant access to this gradebook, you can use the Accessible To menu to select additional teachers. If your school uses periods to divide the day, you can designate this with the Period menu. Otherwise, just ignore this. Gradelink will alphabetize classes on the report card by default. However, if you prefer certain classes to be in a specific order, you can use the Report Order menu to specify this. The term is already set to our currently active term. More on that in a little bit. Units is simply another word for credits. If you have certain credits to be assigned to different classes, you can set them here. Since we're not concerned with GPA or credits for this first grade reading class, we'll simply ignore this field. The location field is optional, and you can specify a room number or other location, and this will appear on the student schedule report, which can be printed. This teacher would like to enter assignment grades like homework, quizzes, and projects into this class in order to generate a class average, which will be the student's final grade on their report card. Therefore, we will leave the class type as standard. The grade scale is set by default to standard, which is the A through F scale. However, if your school uses other marks for the lower grades, such as OGS and N, these can be configured using the Manage Grade Scales area. Configuring grade scales is not covered in this video. However, once you have other scales available, they can be selected using this menu. For this first grade reading class, we'll choose the primary grade scale, which has already been configured. If your report cards show not only overall grades, but assessments related to a subject, these can be set up in Gradelink using subgrades. Configuring subgrades is not covered in this video. However, once you have subgrade sets available, they can be selected using this menu. Now that we have this class configured the way we want, we can click Add. And our first class has been created. At this point, you can continue entering additional classes. However, if you have a second grade reading class with mostly the same settings, you can select this Reading 1 class from the list, then click this Duplicate button up at the top, and you'll see Gradelink will create a Reading 2 class based on the same settings. So I can simply click on Reading 2 and change the teacher name to the second grade teacher, and then click Submit Changes. So this makes it easy to create your classes quickly. Now, from 4th grade on up, this school grades with the standard, or A through F, grade scale. So for my Reading 4 class, I'm going to change the grade scale to standard, and then Submit Changes. And I can duplicate from here on up through the rest of the grade levels. Let's create some additional types of classes. For schools that take attendance on only a daily basis or once per day, we'll need to create attendance classes. Instead of gradebooks, this will provide teachers with an attendance page for taking attendance each day. The specific attendance values you track can be customized on the Settings area. Administrators can also take or edit attendance with these same classes. Enter an appropriate class title, such as Attendance 1, along with the report title. Select the teacher as usual. Although the period does not come into play, setting this class to period 0 will ensure that the attendance is the first thing that appears for teachers when logging in each day. Most other settings can be ignored, but to make this all work, we need to change the class type to School Attendance. Then click Add. As with other classes, you can then duplicate this class to save time, changing the teacher as needed. If your school is a high school and only needs to record attendance in every class period, then this step is not necessary. Instead, you'll enable the Use Class Attendance checkbox in the Settings area. Another type of class we may want to create is the Term Comments class. If your school prints narrative-style teacher comments on the report card, you can set Gradelink up to accommodate this. We'll enter a class title of Teacher Comments 1 and then choose the other necessary settings. And we then just need to change the class type to Term Comments and click Add. Now this teacher will have access to text entry area, complete with spell check, and a view of students' current grades and attendance. If you have provided Gradelink with basic student data, we may have already imported this into your account. If not, or for assistance with this service, contact Gradelink Customer Support. After the initial import, or if you would like to enter data from scratch, you can do this from the Students tab. Let's click Add New to begin entering a new student into Gradelink. The minimum information I need is the student's first name, last name, and grade level. Note, this class selector is for those schools which split their grade levels to accommodate larger numbers, such as 5A and 5B. Students will normally have a status of active until they leave your school or graduate. However, we have additional status levels which may be helpful to you, such as re-enrollment or new enrollment. If a student leaves the school during the year, it's best to set their status to inactive. Students should only be deleted if they were accidentally added to the system or left after 1 day. In most cases, though, it's best to mark students who leave as inactive. We'll leave this student as active. Gradelink will generate an ID and a username, which are numbers, and a randomized password for parents. The ID is the student's unique identifier in Gradelink. The username is utilized by parents, along with the password, for logging in. If you have an existing ID numbering system and would like to override Gradelink's default ID number, you may do so. However, this must be numerical, that is, no letters, and be unique for each student, whether active or inactive. Other information like demographics and contact info can be entered now or at any other time. But I'm all set with this new student, so I'll simply click Save down here. Now the student has been added in, along with my other students, ready for populating into classes. When you're ready to give parents the login information for their child, you can click this Login Info button up top, and Gradelink will provide an information page that tells parents what Gradelink is, how to sign in, and what their initial login and password info is. So you can print this out and distribute it to the parent to grant access. Once the parent gets home and signs in to their child's account, they will be able to change the password to something familiar to them. You can always view password information here. To generate this page for all students at once, we'll click on the Reports tab at the top and then click Login Info. This will produce this report for each student in the school, or you can limit this to a certain grade level. If a parent is having trouble signing in, and they misenter the password 5 times in a row, Gradelink will automatically lock the student's account as a security measure. The parent will be directed to contact your school office for assistance. If this happens, after verifying the parent, you can unlock the student's account and reset their password if necessary. Once your classes have been configured and you have students in, the next step is to populate classes with students. Click the Populate Classes tab. From this drop-down menu at the very top of the screen, I'll select the class I want to add students into. Let's choose Reading 1. On the left side, I can see my general student population, but I only want to enter first grade students into this class, so I'll use the Grade Level menu to filter students to just first graders. Now, I can simply select these students on the left side and then click the Add button to move them into the reading class. Then, I'll choose my next class. Let's pick Attendance 1. Again, I just want first graders in my Attendance 1 class. It just so happens that my first grade teacher is dedicated to only first graders and teaches only first graders in a variety of subjects. So, I'll highlight these students as normal. But before I click Add, I'm going to check this box here, Add/remove students to all classes taught by Thomas Edison. Now, when I click Add, these students get added not only to attendance, but to math, social studies, and any other subjects Mr. Edison teaches. So this checkbox can save you some time on elementary classes. For junior high and high school, if your school is departmentalized, this checkbox will probably not be useful. Some schools have combined grade levels taught by the same teacher with classes such as English 5th to 6th. Other schools have split grade levels with classes like Reading 3A and Reading 3B. In these cases, it may be helpful to utilize the class filter above the left column. I'll select this English 5 to 6 class from the menu at the top of my screen. I want to add 5th and 6th graders not only into this class, but also into Mathematics 5 and 6. I'll start by filtering using the grade level menu to 5th graders. And I'll add them. Now I'll select 6th graders. And I'll add these 6th graders to that same class. Okay, now that class is populated, but it took 2 steps. Let's choose Mathematics 5 and 6 from the menu again at the top of the screen. I'm going to change my grade level selector back to All. And then, using this class filter below it, I'm going to select the English 5 and 6 class. Aha! Now I've got a convenient grouping of both my 5th and 6th graders, so I can easily select them all and click Add to put them into the Math 5 and 6 class. Once you've finished populating classes, teachers can begin entering grades and attendance from their Gradelink accounts. In Gradelink, report card production is simplified for teachers. I'm here in a teacher account to show you what happens on their side. At the end of a term, teachers need to perform a step called concluding in order for their grades to show on the report card. It's pretty easy, so I've got the Reading First Grade class selected up here. And I'm going to click the Conclude tab. Here, I'll click the Conclude button, and that will finalize this class. Once the teacher does this for all of their classes, they will be finished for the quarter. Back on the administration side, let's take a look at my classes page. You'll see that the Reading 1 class is now purple, indicating that it has been concluded. So you'll be able to tell right away which teachers have finished. Once your teachers have concluded all their classes, you can then print report cards. To do so, let's click the Admin Reports tab. Here, we'll click on Report Card. If you have more than one format, you may have more than one button, such as Upper Grade Report Card and Elementary Report Card. Over on the right, I'll select my terms to include on the report card. If you are running, for instance, an elementary school report card and don't want to show semester averages or exam term grades that the high school uses, select just the quarters. To be selective in your term choices, hold down the Control key in Windows or the Command key in Mac OS while you click the terms. In this case, I want to show the semester averages and exam grades on the report card, so I'll include those additional terms. You can run report cards for a whole grade level of students or a whole class of students at once. For now, I'm just going to run an individual report. For this student, you may have a number of report profiles to choose from. These profiles control minor variations in font size, grade scales, graphic arrangements, and other settings best suited to the grade level you're running report cards for. Choose the appropriate profile. As we've mentioned, classes must be concluded in order to print final grades on the report card. However, if you wish to see a preview of the report card before classes have been concluded, check the Preview Mode checkbox. You can then see a preview sample report card with non-final grades displayed. For now, let's click Submit. Gradelink will display the report card right in the browser. If everything looks okay, you can click the PDF icon to download a PDF file of the report card. This may take a minute or so for an entire grade level. Then simply print the PDF file. If your report card is a two-sided style, you will want to enable two-sided printing if your printer has this feature. This can also be called double-sided or duplex, depending on your printer manufacturer. Look for this setting in your Print Dialog's Preferences area. If you're coming to the end of one quarter or trimester and are ready to start the next, it's easy. We're on the Classes page right now, and as you'll see, I have a full set of classes we created for Quarter 1. If I select Quarter 2 from this menu, however, you'll see it's empty. However, you don't need to recreate your class lists. Instead, let's go to the Terms page. Here, I'll click on my current quarter, which is about to end. Next, I'll click Copy Term Classes. Below, I'll choose the next consecutive quarter to copy classes into. This checkbox, Keep Students in Same Classes, that's on by default, and that's how I want it unless we are starting a new school year, in which case I would uncheck this box. But we're just going from Quarter 1 to Quarter 2, and the students will generally be in the same classes. So I'll leave that checked and click Copy Classes. That copied my entire class setup, along with students and a number of settings, into the next quarter. Now all I have to do is click on Quarter 2 and make it active, and Submit Changes. And that's now available to teachers to start entering grades. If we're done with Quarter 1, we should make this inactive and Submit Changes. That will keep the teachers' class lists from getting too long and hard to manage. Keep in mind that this copy classes process should only be performed between consecutive terms. In other words, don't copy from Quarter 1 directly to Quarters 3 or 4. This copy process moves a number of settings forward, which can change over time. So in order to have the most current settings possible, just copy between terms, ideally the day before the next term starts. At the end of the year, the final step is to promote students. Before performing this routine, please be sure classes have been concluded and final report cards have been printed for the year. From the Students tab, let's click the Admin sub-tab over to the right. Then we'll click the Promote Students button. Down below, click the second Promote Students button. This will raise all students up by one grade level. Next, if any students are being retained or held back, return to the Demographics area, select the student, and manually change their grade level back. Be sure to save changes. Finally, return to the Promote Students area and click Inactivate Graduated Students. Then choose the grade level of those students which recently graduated. So if my school goes up to 8th grade, then I would choose 9th grade and click Inactivate. And this will take all of those students off of my active list all at once. If you need to make any changes to classes, such as grade scale adjustments, report title changes, or rearranging classes, the start of the school year is the best time to make these changes. So, you'll run the copy term classes procedure as described earlier, moving from quarter 4 to quarter 1 of the new year, but be sure to uncheck that box, Keep Students in Same Classes. Make any necessary changes to classes in this first term. Then return to the Populate page to start placing students in their fall classes. And you're off and running. This concludes the introductory administration training video. For help with features like adjusting grade scales, configuring subgrades, or changing attendance settings, see the Help section or ask your friendly Gradelink rep. We also recommend viewing our popular teacher training video. This 52-minute blockbuster covers topics specific to teachers, but is also good information for administrators to be aware of.